Is Iraq and the Middle East hiding something a lot bigger? First of all, I'm sure you're all aware of the situation, well, across the world, especially in the Middle East right now. I mean, it's not good. This is about something a bit different. So there is a theory that the US stayed in Iraq for decades after it was actually liberated, not for oil or anything like that, but for something completely different. So back in the 1920s, a British explorer in Iraq discovered this, which is a Stargate, also rumoured to be the oldest known Stargate ever on Earth. Now, if you don't know what a Stargate is, let me briefly explain. So apparently a Stargate is essentially like teleportation. Now, it was located in what is known today as the Great Ziggurat. However, in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein fully fortified this entire place, the whole area around this thing. This was just some random thing that didn't even do anything. Why would they build a fort around it? But they did. They wanted to keep explorers and people from seeing what was going on here and what this thing actually was. Now, what makes this crazier is that for years since, the 1980s, strange fields of technology and things that we've never really seen before have been spotted coming out of the Great Ziggurat in recent years. Technology rumoured to have come through the Stargate from an ancient planet, well, from an ancient civilization, now living on the planet Nibiru. Now that's crazy because you know what that relates to? The Anunnaki, which is a huge theory. I'm not going to go into it, but it's a really, really long theory. But essentially the theory that they were an extremely highly advanced civilization, like the first ever. They are the ones that essentially came down to Earth to find resources and stuff, and then are now living on the same planet. Anyway, blah blah blah. Now, many people have come out and spoken about what is going on in this place, saying about the Stargate, strange devices, and consequently every single one of them went missing shortly after. In recent years, many more people have been coming out talking about experiments and claiming that they were part of something with the Stargate back in the 1980s, 1990s, when tests were going on apparently. Now, could this be something like Project Montauk? If you don't know what that is, it's basically what Stranger Things was based on, where after the Second World War, people literally had mind control tested on them in this place, and it's all been found out, and yeah, it's a bit mad. I don't know about this, but it's pretty crazy, like, what are they trying to hide? But anyway, hit that follow button and I'll keep you updated.
There is a title deed fraud out there, so for all of you homeowners, watch this video so that you don't get caught with someone stealing your home. Thieves are going crazy nowadays. So what I want to talk about, this is a true story. This guy right here, John Witt Jenkins, he built his own home over 3 years, and he checked one day on Zillow and he saw that his house sold for $160,000, which is not even half of the value. So he went to the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's office and he saw that the deed had a false signature saying that he sold the house. Now, this document was done online and it took him more than 2 months to get his house back. So all homeowners, watch this video, because in the end I'm going to share with you how you can avoid this happening to you. Now, this is a hard-working American, and he worked to have this house, and how can somebody just come along and steal the house? This is what's crazy to me. But scammers are looking for ways and houses that seem like they're vacant. That's what Michael Bogstead did. It was a scheme to defraud. So he thought that somebody wasn't there. Also, another tip that he told people of how he chose houses was when people were behind on their property taxes or close to go to auction, those are the people that he would target. And he did this to 6 houses. He was a real estate broker, and it was a scheme to defraud. So I'm here to tell you guys, a way to avoid it is you need to talk and set your account up to where when anything is changed about the title deed to your home or anything that you possess, a notification is sent to you, a call, an email, so that you know what's going on. Comment below and share this so it doesn't happen to someone that you know.
Homeowners got to be more careful out here. I have a couple questions though. What made him think that the house was vacant? And why wasn't he checking his mail? But dude did look like he just woke up from a 6-month hibernation nap. Well, I could see why it probably happened.
Insane Experiments Part 2. As part of a 1974 social experiment, artist Marina Abramovich told visitors she wouldn't move for 6 hours no matter what they did to her. She placed 72 items on a table and invited people to use them on her however they pleased with no punishment. There were objects for pleasure, including a rose, perfume, and wine, as well as objects for pain, including scissors, a whip, and a loaded gun. Visitors were gentle to begin with, but gradually got more aggressive as they became more comfortable. With Within 3 hours, all of her clothes had been completely cut off, and some people even started slicing her skin. She was groped various times by men and had rose thorns stuck in her abdomen. One person even held the gun to her head until someone else took it away. Once the performance was over 6 hours later, the crowd scampered like mice to avoid an actual confrontation. Afterwards, Abramovich said the experiment pushed her body to the limits, and that if you leave it up to the audience, they can kill you.
Yeah, it did. It's crazy.
All I gotta do is point and say, look, you guys, see, things are falling out of the sky still. Look at this. This is a satellite that fell out of the sky on this lady's property. Y'all see this?
You never know what's going to happen. This baby fell out of the sky and landed in our yard. It's never boring on the Welke farm. Thank God there's no horses out or it didn't hit the house. And it's still going and flashing.
You see, I'm a little confused here because why are satellites falling out of the sky? Yeah, I'm just a little confused. Is that a weather balloon? I mean, it says Samsung on it. So is that China trying to get information on us, y'all? But I'm trying to figure out why is satellites falling out of the sky. But nonetheless, things are still falling out of the sky. This is what I want to tell you. This is what I want to show you. I want to get across to you guys. Things are falling out of the sky because the magnetosphere of the Earth is breaking down. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting times, and yeah, those times are here, you guys. I would tell you guys, you know, please be careful with flying this summer. You know what I'm saying? Please be careful because these are messages. These messages are being sent, regardless if you believe it or not. These are messages. The universe is talking to us because that's how the universe speaks to us, by sending us these type of messages. So let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments down below. Like, share, and follow for more. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. We in this shift, y'all. You already know what to do. Let's get it. Peace out.
That's scary. I wonder, do they plan for these things to happen, or do they just cross their fingers and hope for the best? Most of us know that these things are suspended in air by balloons, so they gotta come down at some point. And why are they so cheaply made? Look like they came with instructions in the box.
So I came across this video of literally 4 suns in the sky, and I really started thinking, are these really suns? You know what it made me think of? I believe it's Enoch chapter 6, when it says that people will err in their understanding, and that the chief stars, the planets, that they will call them after gods, Jupiter, Saturn, and that they will literally go off of their course, their foreordained course. They would go off of it. Are these chief stars, maybe even chief stars we don't know exist? Or maybe it's possible that humanity itself opened a portal. But how would they do that? This looks like a portal. And don't forget the portal over CERN when they fired it up to a higher strength. If you remember. You remember when this happened? Pretty sure that last video was 2016. But it's CERN. It's a giant portal. The reason we're seeing these 4 suns or planets or chief stars, is that why the stars are altering their course? It would also make sense why there is so much and such heavy UFO presence, so much gray presence, and a whole bunch of other stuff. All this stuff that we've been seeing that's been creeping into our reality, even like the Miami Mall incidents like that.
Titanic was also another one, which was deemed as competition to everything else. The Titanic, and I believe it was the Olympic. There was another really big ship. Those were steamships. They ran on steam engines, and they were a threat to the Rockefeller takeover. You got petroleum. You need petroleum. You can't have steam engines. You can't be running on water. That's not very sustainable. You need petroleum. And then you get into
Hold up, that beat cold, ain't it?
so this whole thing with that and taking over. Somebody said it was the Olympic lady. Yes, that's the name of it. Sister ship of Olympic lady. So Rockefellers came in, got to get rid of that. They had the Titanic event, which also just so happened to happen around the Federal Reserve enactment. You know, that whole private mafia corporation, that whole situation happened. And you had that event, but they got rid of the Titanic, the Olympic, and all these massive ships. Very, very big ships, which when you look back, you start to wonder who was building those ships. Maybe those ships You know, we're holding people, as people just said, who oppose the Federal Reserve. It just so happened that the ships held the people who opposed the Federal Reserve, and then within a couple days, the Federal Reserve all of a sudden appeared after the ship sank. One would think by chance that it was intentional. Same thing like the blimps, same thing like these ships.
Please give this a look for a second. Ancient Greek, ancient Rome, and the United States, all kind of similar, huh? Do you ever wonder if we're just a continuation of the Roman Empire? So before anybody has a fit with me, I'm just asking a question. I mean, the Roman Empire had their Senate. Looks a lot like the U.S.'s Senate. In fact, that's the United States Capitol. Don't those pillars remind you of something? Maybe something from ancient Greece or ancient Rome? What about the layout of ancient Rome, the city itself? This is about what it looked like. Big Colosseum right there in ancient Rome. And then you have current Washington, D.C. Not the best angle, but not just from this angle, but other ones. It could be mistaken for ancient Rome. And after all, Washington, D.C. does have a Coliseum, a stadium, two actually, one for their NFL team and one for their MLB team. All I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff in common between ancient Rome and the current United States. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's planned out that way. Or maybe, just maybe, it's something else. Shabadoo Wooskies! Shabadoo!
I think it just got to do a lot with America stealing ideas from different cultures. America like that cousin that like to steal. You got to watch them when they come over your house. Look like a trash bag floating in the sky. Who knows? I don't see what's going on at 1 a.m. in Tijuana. If you know something, let me know in the comments. I don't know, it could be a string or something on there. And look how the dog going straight over there to where the string would be if he was opening the door.
See this car drive off the pier?
Drive off the edge? Oh my god. No fucking way. Dude, no.
It's crazy to go off the cliff like that. I wonder what they was going through.
Dude, no.
Whoever that was, they looked like they wasn't too sure about it, cause they creeped once they got close to that edge.
62, go ahead.
Yeah, is there any active military airspace just like north of Winnipeg?
No, nothing I'm aware of. You said north of Winnipeg?
Yeah.
No, not right now.
Okay. Lots of active bright lights, information, 3, and they look like they're at like 500 or something, just trying to figure it out.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't heard anything. I'll check ahead with the next sector. And you said around 50,000 feet, roughly, is that correct?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, it's hard to say, but yeah, it keeps being like 2 to 4 really bright lights, and they kind of were in like a triangle formation, and then it looks like the little dipper for a bit, and then they disappear, and then they come back.
Okay, okay, thanks for that. I'll just make a note, but yeah, I can't think of what that might be.
Like a classic case of what we've been seeing out here lately.
TV flights, 12 o'clock. See something, flashing light, running left 30, start 600. Yeah, forming triangles, then flying away and coming back. Big bright light that's coming, towards us, probably above us, start 600. More or less 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 600. Thanks, Marcana 7086. Do you have any traffic out there?
No, I had one other report 10 minutes ago from a Morningstar flight east of Regina. Reported the same thing. Her best guess was around somewhere around flight level 500, and thought it might be somewhere north of Winnipeg. So yeah, do you have a guess as to what you might think the altitude is?
Hard to tell. It's because the evening, I'd say she's probably pretty accurate, but they keep forming up in a triangle, and then it's pretty odd.
Star 600, Winnipeg Center, this morning, and are you still seeing those lights that you were reporting earlier?
Yeah, it's quite bizarre. There's around 6 of them just randomly doing the formation flight at high altitude at 12 o'clock, flight 600.
Okay.
Yep, that's Cat.
Winnipeg Center from Flare 600.
Go ahead.
Just curious, when it comes to those flights that you have multiple aircraft reporting, what reports do you guys have to file for that?
Usually we just tell the shift manager and then they follow up with whatever reporting they do.
Okay, so you're not reporting a UFO then?
Report exactly what the pilot said to the shift manager, and then they'll file it as they do.
Okay, thanks.
Definitely not satellite. UPS 104, I just got here for the morning, so I'm just finding out about all the reports, but I guess they've been all the way across the prairies this morning, or overnight.
Okay, yeah, it's like, unlike anything I've ever seen in like the 15 years of night flying that I've done.
Okay, thanks very much.
A new technology such as a replicator will be available to all people. A replicator is not science fiction, it's a device that works according to the laws of physics. Let's take a lobster, a t-shirt, or a phone, for example. In appearance, they are completely different, but if we look at them on a micro level, we'll see that they are made up of the same elementary particles. Only their number is different, and they are arranged in a different way. These particles form atoms, and atoms form molecules. Due to a given combination of these elementary particles, we get either a lobster, or a t-shirt, or a phone. The working principle of the replicator is basically to assemble the elementary particles in the proper combination to get what we need. A hot breakfast, or fashionable trousers. Moreover, they are brand new, already ironed, and of the highest quality. Everything depends on the program you've set up. For example, in order for a new gadget to appear in a replicator, you need 3 components: energy, particles from which the object will be created, the information about the sequence of their assembly. Energy has been successfully used by humanity for a long time, and the creative society will be able to use both new and long discovered types of energy. Information about an object will be received by scanning the desired objects and uploaded into the replicator. A similar principle has already been implemented in beverage molecular printing technology. Any beverage is printed directly from molecules. The main thing is to have the appropriate amount of particles from which the object we need will be materialized. To do this, we need a utilizer. Unnecessary things will be put in it to be decomposed into elementary particles and placed into cartridges. And the replicator will create whatever you need with the use of the cartridges and information, so you dispose of the garbage and get everything you want. Having a utilizer, you will no longer need to wash the dishes. Just put in it dirty plates, a tablecloth with crumbs, and you're done. A replicator and a utilizer are devices about the size of your microwave or a small cupboard. The magnetic power inside them will help rearrange the particles according to a given combination. In milliseconds and at any moment, you get everything you need and completely free of charge, without harm to your health or the planet's ecology. A replicator will not only benefit every person, it will also benefit the entire planet. For example, to enjoy a delicious, fresh bun at breakfast today, a whole chain of complex production processes must occur. You need to plow a field, and you need a tractor for this. To produce a tractor and all its component parts, we have to build different factories. And all these factories emit tons of poisonous gases, whereas their wastewater contains dangerous chemical compounds. We also need raw materials that people extract from quarries and mines. To grow wheat, we need pesticides and chemical fertilizers, which poison the soil and the crops. Delivery of everything we need requires a huge expense, fuel and lubricants. We need transport, trucks, ships, and trains. Look how much damage an ordinary bun does to the environment. And the same story is in every manufacturing sector. In the creative society, all these destructive to the environment processes will disappear, as everyone will have a replicator at hand. Just press the button, and here's a bun for you to eat. Everything will be enough for everyone, anywhere on the planet. We'll be able to cleanse the air, the earth, and the ocean of all dangerous radioactive pollution. Garbage will become the most valuable resource, that is, a source of elementary particles for creating new, beautiful things. The creative society is a world where you will enjoy the most advanced technology, and your life will be financially independent, comfortable, and prosperous.
It's coming. A lot of things coming. But sometimes I wonder what's going to be that next big thing that we never thought would happen, like our grandparents seeing the first black president.
Will particle accelerators filter water? We have a problem with plastics, but specifically PFAS, more commonly known as forever chemicals. These man-made chemicals are everywhere. Non-stick cookware, waterproof clothing, and food wrappers. Their main selling point is that nothing sticks to them. Nature can't break them down because the carbon-fluorine bonds make them super strong, so they build up in you and the environment, specifically our water supply. Current filtration methods at water plants can't filter out the PFAS. So at a recent study at the Department of Energy's Fermilab in Illinois, they fired electron beams at the water and found that PFAS were breaking down, and without residual waste. Using particle accelerators to filter water has been in the talk for like 50 years. Not just for plastics, but also agricultural runoff, fuel, and pathogens. Some countries are trying them out, but it's been a slow method to spread because of costs and maintenance. If Fermilab continues to work on this and show promising results on eliminating these forever chemicals, accelerators could someday be designed for the mainstream method of just filtering water. I talk a lot about future technology, but there's something about this is correct.
If I was traveling to Japan, I probably wouldn't have thought of like, oh, I need to worry about like my dress code, like in their cultural dressing and everything like that, and how it is like if you're walking around with dirty socks because you have to take them off most of the time, it's like that's frowned upon. Holes in your jeans, shorts, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh wow. But have you seen how polite they are?
Yeah.
How strict, dude. I had no idea. I saw they're coming out of the subway, and there's I saw literally shoulder to shoulder going up two flight of stairs, and it's just packed, right? And then there's one aisle of stairs right next to it, just divided by a guardrail, and it's nobody. And everyone's going up, and not one person sneaks up that other side. And they just because they know the arrows, you just don't do that. I'm like, could you imagine if we all started working like that in America? Things would be so much better, so much faster.
We were supposed to move to Japan in the military.
Really?
And they give you this brief before you go, and they said literally it's one of the safest places. If you left your purse at the park, your purse at the park, then you could literally come back the next day. And I think it's because their laws are so severe for theft and stuff like that. But you could come back the next day and it would still be there.
The kids in Japan.
Dude, that's the dopest thing of all.
So these kids, little school kids, Ada's age, they don't get walked to school. They wear these vests, right?
Yeah, and it's color coded by if they need assistance, if one really needs assistance, you would be more aware of that color.
And the whole culture takes care of them. Oh. So they'll help them get to school, or if
running groceries.
Yeah.
Not one of these people are real, and someone may have actually just proven this. So this guy right here is James Gates. He is a theoretical physicist and extremely, extremely clever guy. He's at MIT with a bachelor degree and 2 PhDs. So yeah, he's, got pretty good credentials. Now what he found was literal computer code embedded in reality. Now this is where we get into something called string theory, which is a bit complex, so stick with me, I'll explain to you best I can. So first of all, you've got Einstein's theory of relativity, everything big like planets. Then you've got quantum physics, which is literally the opposite, so everything small like particles, atoms. And in this area, the general rules of physics don't apply, things, you know, like gravity. Now, Einstein's theory and quantum physics, they do link together with the Big Bang. Literally like everything that is big now, like the planets, all used to be small. But these two needed something to link them together, and what is that? That's where string theory comes in. String theory literally links in quantum and general relativity. Now, string theory suggests, like strings on a guitar, they vibrate at different frequencies, right? String theory, the strings vibrate in different waves of matter. Now, this literally changes the way you look at everything in the whole world, because everything you see, every particle, is essentially a string vibrating. Everybody on Earth is just a particle vibrating at a different frequency. So what's this got to do with this James guy and the computer code? Well, thanks for sticking with me. Let's go. So Dr. James took a look at a sequence of codes that came from string theory. He found binary code, like actual binary code. This is literally only used by things like computers to compress data. It's what powers all of the search engines you use, the hub, Google. So it literally proves if we break down matter and energy far enough, we can find actual computer code in our reality. So does this mean we are genuinely living in a computer simulation?
Do y'all really think we're in a simulation? What is this reality we speak of? What do y'all think this is that we in?
Here are some of the rarest items ever brought on Pawn Stars. In Season 14, Rick Harrison met with the seller who had a massive collection of props from the original Willy Wonka, including Gene Wilder's hat, a giant golden egg, several Wonka bars made of wood, and the everlasting Gobstopper. Rick passed on the other items but purchased the Gobstopper and a Wonka bar for $105K. One of the biggest holy grails to ever enter the shop was Jimi Hendrix's actual Fender Stratocaster from 1963. The owner was blown away when the guitar expert revealed it could be worth up to $1 million, but he ended up passing on Rick's offer of $600K. In Season 15, Rick went to see a three-piece suit from the mid-18th century that was worn by the first president of the United States, George Washington. Despite being almost 3,000 years old, the incredible piece of American history was in amazing condition. The seller was asking for $3 million, which Rick actually considered, but the two were ultimately unable to strike a deal.
Alright y'all, this is pretty crazy. So according to Alexa, we're not even in the year 2024 yet. We're still currently in the year 2023. Now from a seasonal standpoint and from what we know about the old calendar, this is correct because the new year doesn't really begin until springtime. But I want you to listen to her and her reasoning for this.
2023 is currently being experienced. The year 2024 has not yet begun.
So what timeline are we on? Because according to this robot right here, we have not experienced 2024 yet, and she says it over and over again. Alexa, what year is it right now?
Right now is Wednesday, January 31st, 2024.
So Alexa, have we experienced 2024 yet? Alexa, have we experienced 2024 yet?
The year 2024 has not yet started, as it will start on Friday, February 9th, 2024, and will end on Tuesday, February 13th, 2024.
I am so fucking... Right now? I can't with this. I can't with this, you guys. She gives you specific dates.
Do you hear that? It says we don't start the new year until February 9th, 2024? What is going on?
Are we experiencing 2024 right now?
2024 hasn't arrived yet. Once 2024 arrives, then we can start to experience it.
Alexa, then
what does that mean? What does that mean? What year is it?
2024 is the current year.
Alexa, are we...
Yo, even Alexa is bugging out, y'all. Alexa is bugging out. She needs to go in the bunker too.
Winter magic descended upon Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, she needs to go in the bunker because she don't know what she's talking about, you guys. There's so many calendars in the world. This is why it's so confusing, because nobody knows what timeline we are actually on, even though everything is happening all at once. They keep us confused with these different type of calendars and whatnot. It keeps us out of harmony. It's like disharmony. Because being harmonious would be living in nature, with nature. You know, we follow nature. We used to do this back in the days, but now we lost that ability. We're literally in a box. We're literally trapped in a box inside of nature. Your house is a box, and they had to remove nature in order for you to live in the house. But as we know, we got the Ethiopian calendar that's 7 years behind us, so it's what, 2016 there? I believe they gave us these calendars in order to disconnect us from nature, because the only thing we really follow is the cycle of the sun. This is why we had sundials back in the day. Now you don't see no sundial anywhere because they wanted us to be disconnected with nature. We follow the sun. So I just wanted to share this information with you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. You already know what to do, y'all. We're in this shift and we getting it. Peace in.
And that's why I don't mess with Alexa.
This is light work.